everyone, it's Elizabeth from Alpus Astrology at alpusastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So today I'm going to give you my interpretation of April 2023's astrology. But as always, you have free will to choose what you want to do during this month. All right, so April 2023 astrology. Well, the big news is that the eclipse season starts this month. And wow, is it a big eclipse? It's a total eclipse. And it's a new moon. It's at 29 degrees of Aries and it's 50 minutes. So we're almost at 10 more minutes and it would be in Taurus. So this is our second lunation, our second new moon that is officially in Aries. So this is very unusual. So certainly for Aries and for Libra, this is an important time for you, in particular Aries. A time of definite new beginnings. So there may be for some Aries another start this month in April for you and whatever new things that you need to do. So when we look at Aries, we're really talking about being independent and blazing our own individual path. So the first lunation we have is a full moon. And that full moon is in Libra, the opposite sign to Aries, on the 5th of April. At 9:35 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And it's at 16 degrees of Libra and 7 minutes. We have the Sun conjunct Chiron. And in Aries, because of course the moon itself is going to be in the opposite sign of Libra. And that Sun and Chiron have a wide conjunction with Jupiter, which is also in Aries. And then, of course, the moon opposes that. The moon opposes the sun at every full moon. But because the moon is with Chiron, there's an opposition there with Chiron too. Now, the other thing we have is Mercury will be conjunct the North Nodes of the moon. And nicely, Venus steps in again and sextiles Neptune. The North Nodes of the moon, in turn, and with that Mercury, will be squaring Pluto. Now, remember that Pluto is right now 0 degrees Aquarius and some minutes. And so there's a few things going on here for sure. At all full moons, there's a culmination of some sort. There could be endings, that type of thing. But in some cases, it can be a good ending. Now, when we look at Libra, Libra is about relationships. It's also about the law or laws. So just generally speaking, these two areas could be up for many people at this time. When we look at the nodes involvement here, I really felt that, especially that North Nodes with Mercury squaring Pluto, I felt that there was, I actually heard a gong go off in my head, almost like, Big Ben, when Big Ben resounds and everybody can hear it. It's that type of thing, that we are going to have this resounding message about our destiny, especially as it relates to shifting power, right? Because Pluto is all about power. There could be some big revelations here as well. Not that that's unusual these days. But I like the real thing I like about this full moon is that the ruler of the full moon in Libra is Venus. And Venus is sextile Neptune. So to me, there's a sweet spot here as well. A sweet spot with regards to a couple of things. One, making our dreams potentially come true, being given opportunities for that. For others, having an opportunity to express love with a soulmate type of person. That could be up as well. But when we have the Sun conjuncting Chiron, I would say that, wounding of some sort could be brought up where you're wounded, and especially as it ties in with potentially relationships. There may be some breakups at this time. A full moon in Libra can indicate literal ending of a relationship. That could be up. But, for others, it could be that you're leaving something that isn't working for you. A relationship that's not working. And maybe even others are waiting to start a relationship. And this is the ending of your singledom. more likely it's going to be with the breakup part of it, but hey, let's include everything in this. So when we go on now to the 9th and 10th of April, we have the Sun in Aries conjunct Jupiter. So for me, this is a very auspicious day. Anytime you've got Jupiter conjunct the Sun, and especially since it's in Aries, this is an auspicious day for good luck and movement forward on our independent path. And the picture I got in my mind was in the tarot, or the tarot cards, it's the Fool. If you can picture that, that's what I really saw, this Sun conjunct Jupiter in Aries. It's a whole new start with lots of luck, lots of expansion, and lots of benefits. So I guess for those folks that need some good luck and movement forward, especially independent movement forward, those 2 days would probably be quite good for you, the 9th and 10th of April. All right, so our next lunation, I've talked a little bit about at the beginning of this video, of course, is the total new moon eclipse in Aries on the 19th of April at 9:12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And as I mentioned earlier, it's at 29 degrees of Aries, 50 minutes. There's 60 minutes in every degree, and so you're only 10 minutes off this potentially being in Taurus instead, but it's not. So Aries, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a second new start. So for those folks that maybe didn't have something start at the first new moon in March, this could just change the whole game. And certainly, just generally speaking, for people that want to have a new start, that want to be independent, that want to express themselves, and they've not had an opportunity to do this, maybe never had an opportunity to do this, this second lunation with this total eclipse could bring something in for you. 29 degrees is a critical degree, and it talks about kind of wrapping things up in whatever sign it's in. But hey, this is a new moon, so how could that be? Well, what it says to me is that for those folks that really have this situated somewhere in their own natal charts, it says by letting go of something, you are able to set yourself free on a new independent path. And that's a big message I got with this whole total eclipse, for sure. The other thing I got is it's only when we enter a relationship do we discover ourselves. I thought that just resonated so well with this total eclipse. Even though it's in Aries, we have it aspected by the opposite sign, which is Libra, of course. So there may be some Librans that have something to do with a partner at this time, or partnership. I'll cover all the signs in the ascendants towards the end of this introduction. What else did I get from that? I guess I got also it's love, right, which is Venus and rules Libra, versus liberty, especially for this whole month when we bring both the full moon and the new moon in. So this whole month, again, is about relationships of some sort, but it's also about the relationship we have with ourselves. And especially this total eclipse that I just talked about, I really felt there was some kind of important message for some individuals that it's okay to blaze your own path. It's okay to be an individual. It's okay to sometimes flaunt the fact that you're an individual. I think as long as you take into consideration other people and respect them, you should be proud of yourself and be proud of going on your own path and not following others like a sheep. Okay, when we look at May coming up, we have another eclipse, but this time it's a full moon eclipse. It's a full moon eclipse in Scorpio, and it's at 14 Scorpio on the 5th of May. So you can think ahead, especially for those folks that have something around, say, 14 degrees of Scorpio, or the opposite sign where the sun will be 4 degrees Taurus. We also have a new moon in Taurus. This is not an eclipse, but it's a new moon at 28 degrees of Taurus on the 19th of May. So those are some things that'll be coming up in May for you. A little preview for some folks. Now I'm going to go on to the individual signs. So for Cancer, both these lunations in April square you in different houses. So for the first one, the full moon in Libra, it squares your fourth house. And the fourth house, generally speaking, we refer to your home, whether it's your childhood home or your present home, your mother, your family, and your habits. So any or all of those areas could be up for a challenge of some sort. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be all bad. It might be that there's this is in Libra, so there might be some balance and harmony that has to be put into your home for some Cancers. That it could be something as simple as maybe the whole home has to be made so that it's more harmonious and that it is fair and that it works for you. Maybe your home is full of stuff where it's all disjointed and you say, I got to do something about this. For others that maybe have a home, maybe there's some kind of legal matter that comes your way that you've got to handle. It doesn't mean that it's going to be negative. It just means that it's another thing that you've got to do and add to your list, that type of thing. What else could it be? I mean, it could directly apply to relationships, a relationship in the home where there's some kind of culmination that's taking place, some kind of ending, maybe in a way that you're doing relationship. That isn't easy to do and that it challenges you. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but changing up a relationship in a home may be up for some Cancers as well. Now, when we look at that total new moon eclipse in Aries, that squares your sign, but it comes now into the 10th house. And the 10th house, generally speaking, is career, your career as well as your long-term goals. So I would say a good way to use that new moon eclipse that squares your sign, Cancer, is to say, you know what? I need to take a hard, long look at my long-term goals. Do they need to be revised? And this career that I'm in, is there something that I'm doing here that's blocking me that I can maybe remove to make things easier for myself in my career? For others, you just may have challenges in the career. Maybe a boss or a manager challenges you about something. Now, it is in Aries, so maybe you want to be independent and your boss is saying not so fast. Or, okay, you can be independent, you can do your own individual projects, but you've got to pass this test first. And once you pass the test, that's the challenge, the square, you'll be free to get on that new path and individually be performing in this career. That's actually a good way to use it. Favorably, you have Mars in Cancer. Now, technically, Mars in Cancer is in its fall, but hey, you've had Mars in Gemini for literally months in your 12th house, probably stirring stuff up for you, causing misunderstandings and probably frustrations for you. Now you've got Mars in your sign, Cancer, and this is all systems go. I see this as, literally that rocket taking off from the launching pad into outer space. It's that kind of image that I'm getting with the effect that Mars is going to have in your sign, Cancer. So expect that month of April to be very positive for you. Mars can represent males. Males may actually be very helpful for you, especially with regards to getting things going. But this is going to bring huge energy into you. Where there was stagnation the past few months, now it's all systems go. Keep me posted on that, Cancer. You've had a little bit of a rough time with that Mars in Gemini. So this is just super positive for you. And, following on the heels of that, in May, Cancer, you are going to have Venus in your sign. So that's going to be really positive. That can bring in benefits, bring in money, can bring in love, can bring in value of yourself. So May also may be an interesting month for you with regards to attracting things to you. Venus tends to be attractive in terms of its energy. So it may attract more money for you. And females may be important for you, especially from a standpoint of a nurturing and compassion type thing. Take care, Cancer. Well, that wraps up my April 2023 video. I'm sending everybody, especially at this April time period, lots of love, because of course, with Libra, the Libra full moon ruled by Venus, it's love. And of course, with Aries, it's about taking initiative. So I'm sending lots of great new love to all my viewers and my clients. And I'm wishing you the very best with all your relationships in the month of April. Keep me posted on what happens to you. You know, I love to hear from you. And you will hear from me next, probably in my May video. Take care of yourself, everybody, and bye for now.